Ladies and gentlemen, first I thank the Commandant of the Kotalao Defense University and the staff for extending me this honor to be invited as chair of this session. And it's a privilege indeed, because I have been here for 5 years as head of languages, and I'm just feeling that I have come to a place where I have been very familiar with. So let's go by the agenda now, as we have spent some time. So our first presenter is Ms. Bimali Indraratne. She is a senior lecturer of the Department of Languages, Faculty of Management and Social Sciences and Humanities, General Sir John Kotalao Defense University. She is presenting her paper on acquisition of English articles by Sinhalese, EFL and ESL learners. So, Bimali, you are being now watched by everybody, and so you are welcome to conduct your session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you. Today my topic is acquisition of English articles by Sinhalese ESL learners. Actually, this presentation is based on a small-scale empirical study that I conducted because, as you all know, we believe that it's difficult to acquire English articles, especially for second language learners. And also, it is believed, according to Humphrey, he says that especially when an article system does not exist in learners' first language, it's difficult for them to acquire English articles. So this research is actually based on two models. Can you go to the next slide, please? I move on to the theoretical background. So the study was based on two models. First one is Bickerton's model. He categorized articles into 4 categories. I guess you can see on the screen: definite, indefinite, generic, and other. Here, P means presupposed, S means specific. Normally, definite and indefinite are traditional meanings. Generic means articles in subject and piece, noun phrases, and all types of other articles. Now, next slide. Based on Bickerton's model, Hubner also developed a model which is called Hubner semantic view model. In that model also, articles are categorized into 4 categories. You can see the 4 categories. Here, SR means specific referent, HK means known to hearer. Based on this categorization, articles are categorized in 4 categories: generics, then that is the and 0, and then the is again categorized into unique, previous, mentioned, or physically present reference. Third one is and 0, first mentioned NPs or NPs following extensional has, have, or there is, are. And last one is equative NPs that also has and the. So this study was based on these 4 types of articles. And in most empirical studies, the measurement methods used to investigate accuracy, emergence, and overuse of articles are these 3 measurement methods. SOC, that is applied in obligatory context, which means how often the articles are used when they are required to be used. And the second measurement, TLU, target-like use. And UOC means used in obligatory context. So these 3 measurement methods have been used in empirical studies. And in this study also, I used these 3 measurement methods. I will move on to the existing empirical studies. As you can see, there have been several empirical studies on the order of acquisition of articles. In most of these studies, the order proposed was the, and zero. So they believe the is acquired first, then and then zero. But several other empirical studies propose some other structure. You can see the other three orders. And most of these studies were also based on Huebner's semantic wheel model. And according to the wheel model, most of these studies, again, show that type 2 article, that is the, was acquired before the other types. So this study, the present study that I'm going to talk about, was based on all literature, and also there are several things that we can talk about when talking about article acquisition, but this particular study was only based on analyzing which order of acquisition that we can see among Sinhalese, EFL, ESL learners. So there were 3 research questions. First one was, what is the order of article acquisition by Sinhalese, EFL, ESL learners based on accuracy, and then emergence. And the last one was, is there a relationship between accurate use of articles and proficiency of learners? Next one, methodology. There were 30 participants, Sinhalese, adult ESL learners, 10 each from elementary, pre-intermediate, and intermediate levels, and both males and females. The task given was a free writing activity, and the teachers didn't give any input. They were asked to write on a given topic. The maximum word limit was 150 words. Next, we move on to results. Now you can see for all articles, accuracy in the elementary level, accuracy was high, and then it dropped in the intermediate level, and then again there was an increase in the intermediate level. Target-like use showed the same pattern. High accuracy, high target use in elementary, then dropped, and then again increased. But emergence, it was similar in elementary and pre-intermediate, and it again increased and in the intermediate level. So you can see in the elementary level, even though accuracy and target-like use is high, the emergence is low. So it could be, the accuracy could be high because they didn't actually use articles whenever they were required. Accuracy, next slide. Accuracy, based on different articles, you can see 0 articles showed a consistent accuracy. There was a slight drop in pre-intermediate level, but again an increase in the intermediate level. And the showed increase in from elementary to pre-intermediate, and also a slight increase from pre-intermediate to intermediate, and showed a steady increase throughout the proficiency levels. Next slide. Emergence. Again, you can see 0 article emerged throughout consistently, but the emerged low in elementary but increased in intermediate, and again showed a steady increase. Next slide. Target-like use for different articles. Then you can see a pattern here for 0 article. There was decrease of target-like use from elementary to pre-intermediate, but there was a slight increase again in the intermediate level. And for the other 2 articles, there was an increase of target-like use, steady increase. Based on these results, it is apparent that 0 articles, emergence of 0 was very high in all levels, and it was consistent. Accuracy of 0 decreased with proficiency, but slight increased again in the intermediate level. And also, if you move on to overuse of 0, it showed an increase across proficiency levels. However, the increase of overuse from pre-intermediate level to intermediate level was very low, and if I talk about standard deviation, it was also very low, so we can ignore the difference. So obvious that zero article demonstrated a U-shaped behavior, which Ortega explains that in acquiring certain grammatical structures, learners display U-shaped behavior. They show a high increase of accuracy at beginner levels, and then the accuracy drops during middle levels, and then accuracy increases in the higher levels again. So this can be viewed in this study on the acquisition of zero articles, and I didn't have chance to analyze writing pieces of upper intermediate and advanced levels. So if I think the U-shaped behavior could be more visible in both levels. Article indicated an increase in emergence and accuracy, a steady increase, and emergence of except in type 3 delayed, and type 1 did not emerge at all. And again, consistent increase of emergence and accuracy of both types of and type 2 the increased with proficiency and decreased in the intermediate level. So based on all the results, the final order that I propose is Sinhalese EFL learners acquire zero articles first, and then and finally here indefinite article means both and n. So there are certain pedagogy. So moving on to different types of articles. Now, earlier I mentioned in most of empirical studies, it was obvious that type 2 was the first one to acquire. But in this study, it was apparent that type 3 was the first to acquire. Then type 2 if you can see SOC measurements, you can see 3 0, then 2 and SOC for pre-intermediate, again 3 0, emergence 3 0. So based on this, it is apparent that type 3 0 article is the first to acquire. So next slide. There are some pedagogical implications. Teachers may have to pay more attention to zero articles since it demonstrated the U-shaped behavior I discussed earlier. It would be necessary to provide constant input to learners to remind them of zero article usage, because U-shaped behavior is learners display high accuracy in lower levels, and then low accuracy in mid levels, and then again an increase in the higher levels. So teachers have to be aware of this behavior. This is a development change. So those are the pedagogical implications that I'd like to give. And then finally, these are some of the references that I used for this study. And that's the end of my presentation, and I'm happy to answer if you have any questions. Thank you.